Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would share the scrapbook that I made from my trip to Japan. So we went to Japan for about 3 weeks in May and we spent time in Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka, and it was really cool. There are a lot of amazing things to see in Japan, and it's a real country of differences. There's so much going on, and it just makes for quite an exciting trip. And a kind of a cool scrapbook, hopefully. So I used a mixture of different things. So I used a lot of photographs, but then also receipts and tickets for things that we went to, maps, pretty much anything that I could find, stickers, washi tape, lots of stickers, some more stickers. So hopefully it's quite an interesting scrapbook, and kind of shows you, or kind of gives a flavour of what the trip was like, as well as just showing you pictures of stuff that we saw when we were there. So I did start with a ton of stuff when I got back from Japan, so I'll insert some photographs of what that looked like. I just had piles and piles of stuff that I brought back that I then had to go through and get rid of half of. Basically, I just collected everything whilst we were there, put it in a folder, and then just brought it back. So that was just the easiest way to do it. And a lot of times I had duplicates of things because my boyfriend would also have a ticket or a map or the same thing that I did. So sometimes I just got rid of the duplicates, and other times I kept them so that I could cut one of them up to use kind of artistically in the scrapbook. So on the front cover here, I've got a postcard that I actually bought in the airport on the way home, and that just shows Japan, and it's kind of made up to look like the Japanese flag, and then it does show the places that we went to, so I thought that kind of worked. So I hope that you can kind of see. It's a little bit awkward with the tripod in the way. I know that you can kind of maybe see that leg. So to start off with, I had this stuck up on my desk at work, ticking off the weeks to lead up to Japan. So I thought I would just stick this into the book, and I used some Totoro stickers from Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli. For each of the places that we went to, Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka, I did like a one-page collage, which just included all the different things that I thought kind of exampled, that's not a word, the place. So for Tokyo, it's a real mixture of the skyscrapers, the vastness of the city, but then also there are some temples and museums, and there's like alternative street culture and things in places like Harajuku. So this was just to kind of give an overview of our experience in Tokyo. This was our heading out to Japan, so I've got my boarding passes, I've got the wrapper from the chocolate we had on the plane, and I've put contains nuts because boyfriend allergic to nuts, so we had to be careful, which meant I got all his chocolates. Some yen, so some currency. My bag actually got lost, or got delayed. We had change in Zurich and my bag didn't quite make it, so I had to wait an extra day for it to come from Zurich, so I got a lot of documents relating to my bag and my bag being missing. And I used these little stickers that I picked up whilst I was in Japan as decoration. I also picked up, when we were in Japan, in one of the 100 yen shops, a pack of, I think it's supposed to be origami paper or craft paper in all different designs, like Japanese designs. So I used that throughout the book as well. And I also took lots of note paper from all the hotels we stayed in to use for my journaling. I didn't leave that much space to write stuff. I have put just little notes here and there. So this was our hotel that we stayed in. This is the first day. This is a tea bag from the hotel, which smells amazing. So it makes the makes the scrapbook smell really good. I had a map of Tokyo. So I cut out the relevant places and stuck them in on the relevant days. And I also have these Pikachu stickers because we went to the Pokemon shop, so I included that. And so yeah, some of the pages are mostly photographic, and then I included some stickers throughout just to try and make it kind of cohesive. Some of them I've included receipts and things, just to kind of break up the pictures, because some of the pages that were just photographs I thought were perhaps a little bit boring. So like this, we went to Shibuya on our second day, and we went basically shopping mostly, and looked through some of the big department stores like the craft shops. It was really busy, but I love the way that it looked. So I've got the pictures there, but I also included like a sweet wrapper that I bought when I was there, and a card from the place we had dinner. And then this is like it's got little ninjas on it. It's a bit like Tepex, but it has a design on it, so I bought that whilst we were there, so I included that. It's quite silly. So when I got back, I had quite a big job of sorting through all my things, as I said. So what I did with the scrapbook was I kind of went through and put in all the leaflets and the receipts and the things that I wanted to use in the scrapbook, and saw how many pages it would take up. So each day would take up so many pages, which meant I needed to have, enough pages for Tokyo, enough pages for Kyoto, enough pages for Osaka, in order to make everything fit properly. And I put that into the scrapbook just so that I could see how it all kind of fit in there. I then printed out lots and lots of photographs. So I do have a printer at home which prints reasonably okay pictures. I went through a lot of ink. I ordered new ink. I immediately went through the ink. I had to order another lot of ink. I bought lots of photo paper, which I went through really quickly. So there was quite a cost involved in all of that. When I got all the pictures, the way I printed them out, I had to print them A4 because that's the only size my printer does. So I put them in collages and then cut them up afterwards, and so then I had to go through and cut all the pictures up, and it does make it a little bit more complicated in terms of working out the size of the pictures. So obviously some pictures I wanted maybe just one picture on that page, but others I wanted 3 or 4, and I had to kind of fit that into the collage so the right pictures were coming out the right size, and it doesn't always work, and it does end up being a little bit wasteful because I ended up printing out a lot of pictures that I ended up not using. I printed out some pictures twice by mistake, and then I didn't print out other pictures which I should have done, and I had to go back and reprint those. So that was a little bit annoying. So we kept going back to this park called Ueno Park, and there was just a lot going on there. And like I said before, I didn't leave a ton of space in the journal to do, in the scrapbook to do journaling. So I had to kind of be a little bit creative. So on this leaflet for the Peony Festival that we went to, I then stuck in some of the notepaper from the hotel that we were staying in Tokyo so that I could just write about the park. I got like the ticket for admission to the Peony Festival there, as well as some photographs of the peonies. And then on the next page we went to the lake region around Fuji to go to the Shiba Sakura Festival, which are these incredible pink flowers. And there were some leaflets and maps that I could use, so I used my big hole punch. So I have like my massive one here and then my smaller one. This one was really annoying because it kept not cutting properly, so I think one edge of it is blunt, which is quite irritating. I also included things like the bus tickets. Again, it was just to break it up a bit, so it wasn't just all photographs, and like included the wrapper from the kind of sweet treat thing that I ate, which was really good actually. So as I was saying about kind of trying to organise all the stuff, I printed out all the pictures, I got all the leaflets and the maps and everything together, the sweet wrappers, lots of sweet wrappers, and I had put them into the scrapbook in the place where I wanted them to go, and the scrapbook was just ridiculous. It was like just absolutely packed, and you couldn't close it. It was just huge. I then wanted to actually, stick all the stuff in properly, but I realised that with it being so lumpy and three-dimensional, it would be really difficult to do that. So I took everything out again, which then meant that I had piles and piles of stuff, and I kept them all organised, so I had little post-its on with like, you know, day 1, day 2, or page 1, page 2, and little piles, and I must have had about 50 little piles all over my living room, all over the sofa, all over the floor, all over my craft table. I know it was a bit a bit crazy. I do have some pictures, so I can insert some pictures of what that looked like. So this is going on to Kyoto, so we're kind of done with Tokyo now. There was a hotel which had the word Kyoto outside it, so I thought that was quite fortuitous, so I took a picture of it so I could use it in the scrapbook. And then I did that kind of collage, and Kyoto was much more about temples and the shrines and less about shopping, but there were some shops, but they were a little bit more traditional, although I did go to some department stores as well. So this was kind of our arrival, so again it's like the hotel, and that was the leaflet from the hotel, and I just like the outline drawing, a tea bag from the hotel because they all give you tea obviously, and the note paper from the hotel. So now we're in Kyoto, I'm using my Kyoto note paper. And then this is a bar that we went to that sold incredibly expensive beer that my boyfriend drank. So when I wanted to include like big leaflets and things like this, and I didn't want to cut it up, so this is for the Fushimi Inari shrine, which is all the kind of red or vermilion gates that go up the mountain. It's quite famous. I liked this leaflet because I like the drawing of the gates and the kind of the grounds for the shrine. So I just stuck it in with washi tape and just folded it up, and then I didn't glue it down because I wanted to be able to include other pictures underneath, and so I've done like a couple of photographs underneath. Some of these pictures are my film pictures, so my analog 35mm pictures. Some of them worked out really well, others they're a little bit blurry, I suppose. They're not quite as crisp as my phone pictures, because like phones obviously do quite good pictures these days. And then also boyfriend was our official photographer, so he used our proper camera and actually took some decent pictures, so that's good. I had about 3,000 photographs to go through. I had to get 5 rolls of film developed and get them all back, and then go through all the pictures, which was another reason why I missed some pictures, or I printed out duplicates, or I didn't print out pictures that I had intended to print out and use, and I had to kind of go back and see if I could fit them in. I did take a lot of pictures of food, obviously. I mean, Japan's quite a foodie place. I'm vegetarian and my boyfriend's allergic to nuts, so we did have to be careful about what we ate. It does make it a lot harder to be vegetarian in Japan because they put fish in everything, but we did manage to find some food. These pancakes were pretty good. And we actually managed to go to a conveyor belt sushi place when we were in Kyoto, which was so much cheaper than in the UK. So I also, when I was going through the pictures, I realised that I'd taken a lot of pictures of my boyfriend with his camera, and he'd also taken a lot of pictures of me taking pictures on my phone. So this is like my life through a lens collage, where it's just us taking pictures of stuff. And obviously all these places were so busy with tourists, and it's just everyone taking photographs, and that you just get a sea of people taking selfies, but you can't really criticise because we were there just there taking pictures as well. So this is another page where I tried to like put pictures underneath each other and just stick them down with washi tape. It's a bit hard to show because my tripod's getting in the way, but I tried to keep the washi tape kind of the colourway kind of in keeping with the colours that were already in a lot of stuff on the page. So there's different coloured washi tape throughout the scrapbook, but it kind of works on each individual page. That's kind of what I was thinking. That was my washi tape logic. And I mean, there were some things that I just had so many pictures of and just not enough space, and so it was quite hard to organise stuff. When we were there, I was at times thinking with a mind of, oh, this will be a good picture to use, and kind of kept that in the back of my mind so that when I was doing the scrapbook I kind of knew things that I wanted to use pictures of. But I didn't really want to go in, to a big holiday like Japan, perhaps once in a lifetime, quite expensive, and just be thinking about making my scrapbook afterwards. I did want to kind of enjoy the experience of being there, which I think is what I did. So this was in Arashiyama, which I really did like. It was just like a really nice little area and a really nice vibe, although it was incredibly busy. We went to like a temple, and also that's where the bamboo grove is. That's quite famous, incredibly busy though. And then we went to the monkey park, which wasn't quite as busy, and we did see some cute little monkeys. And you got a great view of over Kyoto, actually, or probably Arashiyama and parts of Kyoto, from the top of the hill where the monkey park is, because the monkey park is on a very steep hill. Just a warning if you're thinking of going out there. When we were in Kyoto, I picked up this leaflet randomly, and I think it's like an art exhibition, and I just really liked the flowers on it. And we didn't go see the exhibition, I have no idea what it is, but I just really like the flowers. So these are actually some pictures of some peonies that we saw in Ueno Park in Tokyo. So they're totally in the wrong place in the planner, but boyfriend took so many pictures of peonies while we were there, and I did kind of make him go to the peony festival, so I felt like I needed to include some of his pictures. So and given that I just stuck this in for absolutely no reason anyway, this is my peony page, just kind of randomly in the middle of the scrapbook. And this is the Golden Pavilion, or Kinkakuji. So I mean it was quite a grey day, as you can see, but you can really see the shine of the Golden Pavilion and the way it reflects in the water. And you can also see the number of people, or just some of the people that were there taking pictures. So you were still able to get some nice shots of the temple without too many people, but it was part of the experience, was the crowds. So it felt like I needed to include that. And then when we left, I went down to a shop nearby and bought a postcard for my niece, and then this is just what's part of the little paper bag. I kind of cut a bit off so it fit. It's part of the paper bag that my postcard came in, so I just used this for my journaling because it was paper I could write on, and then that was the sticker that was on the bag as well. They do like to sellotape bags closed. You always get given a bag and it's always taped closed in Japan. That was my main takeaway from Japan. So the last section is Osaka, which is the last city that we went to, which had similar vibes to Kyoto in the sense that there was a lot of temples and shrines and some really cool and unique things. It was also incredibly busy, as Tokyo was, and quite hot and humid, as Kyoto was. I wouldn't say Osaka was my favourite place on the trip. It was a lot more westernized. Well, I don't know if that's true, because I'm sure Tokyo was hugely influenced by the West, but I don't know. People just seem very obnoxious in Osaka. They're just always in your way. It sounds ridiculous, but it just really reminded me of where I live now. And people just being kind of rude and like bashing you out of the way, and like that's just not how it was in Tokyo, where people were, just minding their own business and getting on with things. We went to an aquarium in Osaka, which was it had these really big whale sharks. So you can see a picture here. These are some pictures my boyfriend took of the fish and the sharks, and then I used some of my washi tape just in similar colours to the photographs, just kind of randomly. I don't know, it's the kind of thing I used to do when I was 16 at college and studying art, and I thought it looked cool. And then I put some stickers down here. Again, I just had some kind of empty space, so I needed something to fill it, and these were kind of the right colours, and this is like a sticker with some water on it, so that seemed to fit. This was like the shopping street on the way down to Dotonbori in Osaka, which is a very famous area, and it's really, really busy. So the shopping street is kind of like a shopping centre, but a really long street. So you're kind of trapped once you get in there, and there's just people everywhere. I liked the leaflet that I picked up though. I liked the kind of artwork on it, but also it just gives you a lot of information about the shopping area and like the history of the area, as well as some shops to visit, which we didn't because we weren't really there to do shopping that much, but some of them look fun. And this is Dotonbori, so this is the, I don't know how you pronounce it, it's like Glyco or Glico man. It's not a Japanese brand, but it's a very famous sign for a chocolate company, I think. And it's near to this bridge in Dotonbori. And then all of the like restaurants and things have big signs and like animatronic signs, so this crab moves its legs and stuff, and a lot of them like moved, and they're quite fun and cool, but it's just so busy. It wasn't a lot of fun to walk through. But we did manage to find some like temples that were slightly off the beaten path, and get away from the crowds a little bit. We went to Osaka Castle and the museum, and I did so they have like lots of stamps everywhere, so I did this thing for kids really, but I got a stamp. I think that one looks like it's not the right way up. Where it's all the different stamps of like the different periods in Osaka. So that's cool, that's going in my scrapbook. And we also went to Mount Koya, which is a mountain that has lots and lots of shrines. It's supposed to be where kind of the headquarters of Shingon Buddhism is now. And so this is like a little map. I took a photograph of a map that was on a wall somewhere when we arrived, and it's a bit disconcerting, all the swastikas, but they are not actually swastikas. There's a Buddhist symbol, but I still find it a bit weird. I didn't feel very well whilst we were here. I had a headache for most of the way around, which is a bit of a shame. But there were some really beautiful like temples, all quite different. And then this like cemetery that we walked through to get to some of the temples, which was quite nice. And then when we went into one of the temples, we got given some green tea and a rice cracker thing. So that's my wrapper from my rice cracker. So that was nice. 400 yen entry price, but you get free tea and crackers. This was a really cool and quite small shrine that we went to in Osaka. Nambaya Saka Shrine, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which I'm probably not. So this is supposed to be a lion, and I don't know, it doesn't look like a lion to me, but it is really, really cool. And it's kind of a bit of a stage, so I think maybe they have some performances, I don't know. So we took a few pictures. It was very, very hot that day. That's what I remember about that day. We walked quite a bit to get there, and it was just incredibly hot. And that is where my battery just died, so unfortunately it kind of cut off the video, but I was at the end of the scrapbook anyway, so I'll leave it there. If you've liked the video, please give me a like, and if you have any tips or tricks or thoughts on scrapbooking, please leave them in the comments, and if you'd like to see more videos, please do subscribe.